with a red banner held high, marching forward through the night. Promises of old will keep as the donkeys start to weep. Stars and stripes forever sway, in the land of the brave we stay. We've got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds are going down.
With a flagpole planted firm,
golden dreams that won't decay,
marching proudly through the day.
In the eagle's shadow by, we find our strength and take our pride. Let the voices echo loud, tearing through the waiting crowd. We've got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds are going down. Across the plains and mountains tall, hear the victory call. With courage and with might we strive, in the light of freedom's guide. We got the power now, in the heart of every town. We've got the power now, the Reds are going down. Times are changing, feel the buzzing, staying true when they're fussing. Keep the flag a-flying through stormy nights. With the star-spangled banner, I stand tall with manners. Cross my heart with hope in sight. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and free, with liberty. Stick to values in the trends. Families gather, let's defend. Hold the line, keep the bond alive. Truth in our vision, in God we make decisions. For our dream, through thrive and strive. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and prairie, with liberty. We'll keep fighting for what's right, standing strong in the night. Here comes freedom in the land of hope and bravery, with liberty.
I thought the world would turn slower, not as fast as it does. Conservative hearts were steady, sure and just because. A simpler time of values, when right was what it was. It seems like those days vanished with just a fleeting pause.
Right-wing dreams of yesterday, steady in the fray, keeping timeless traditions, leading all the way.
untouchable energy, it's a glowing affair. Ready, I'll take you everywhere. I'm untouchable now, feel the power in the air. Radioactive rhythm, but sense without care. Electric and alive in this atomic embrace. Unstoppable now in this glowing space.
Hello everyone and welcome to Culturama, where on this show we are trying to reclaim the zeitgeist of traditional Americana back into the United States. Where on this show we are taking back tomorrow, today, and thank you everyone that has joined the show already in the chat. I've already spoke with some of you in the chat as we were preparing to start, and it's always really good to see the usuals as well as newer faces. So thank you everyone that has decided to join. Let me check my audio levels just to make sure everything's good. It sounds like and it looks like I'm on screen and everything's going well. Very good, so we can proceed. So there is quite a bit to cover as usual, but today's a very special day because we have the State of the Union address, of course, today, and I found out about that, so I made sure to put that in the title. But if you want people to understand what I have to say about the State of the Union and my live coverage of that happening in about 50 minutes here, please share and like this stream. It goes a long way in supporting me and what did I do with Culturama and just spreading the message of proliferating as well as capturing, ideologically, culturally, and socially, and aesthetically capturing the present zeitgeist of the United States. So thank you for that, everyone. And together, we can take back tomorrow, today. And also in the news, I wanted to cover the potential trade war, tariff war that we're entering, thanks to Trump. Whether that be against Mexico, China, or Canada, and that has been all over the news. Everyone's been covering it, so it is my prerogative to cover that as well. Now, I won't be providing any, high-minded, international relations analysis for you, but I do have a piece of my mind that I want to share regarding the trade war that we are about to enter in. So please, everyone, stay tuned for that. We'll be jumping into that topic very shortly before the State of the Union. There's also a lot of other things to cover, and I don't know if I have all the time today on today's show to cover all that, because of course we do have the State of the Union. I wanted to cover the I know the Oscars has had very low viewership, but that has been a topic of the news, and people have been discussing that, particularly over a movie that has captured the hearts and minds of a lot of audiences. The topic is, of course, strippers. So I want to see if I have time to cover that and perhaps cover the social degeneration of society that we are witnessing every day. And of course, the story that I wanted to jump into first and foremost, however, is Twitch and Twitch streaming, which, by the way, thank you for Twitch for allowing me to stream on today, even though my viewership is the lowest on Twitch. No surprise there. But it looks like Twitch is making a little bit of a turnaround. I don't know. Maybe that's too soon to tell. Maybe I'm being too optimistic with this one. But I don't know if you guys heard, but Hassan Piker, the very own, the top, or used to be one of the top streamers on Twitch, who is also very progressive and leftist, has been not permanently but temporarily banned off the platform. I wanted to cover that with you, and we've been seeing a lot of ideological shifts happening, whether that be due to people like Mark Zuckerberg, who manages Meta Platforms, where Meta Platforms has been used as a major utensil for censorship, especially during COVID, and he has made a major turnaround, perhaps even ideologically, and he has trying to show that to the major public by dressing differently, speaking differently about the administration, appearing on shows like Joe Rogan. Maybe I can get him on Culturama. Maybe that's too hopeful of me. You never know. Anything's possible. But also, we see with people like Jeff Bezos changing the ideological tides even of Washington Post, saying how he wants to focus on topics like personal liberty and fiscal responsibility. But so we are seeing legacy media, major social media platforms change before our very eyes. And so is this Twitch decision one of those next few changes that we are experiencing presently in the cultural shifts that are happening in the United States following the present administration? Something to consider and something that I want to cover. But before I do that, of course, I do want to say hello to the chat here. So Okay, we have decent viewership on Rumble. Rookie numbers, though. Let's bump those numbers up. And if you can, please share the stream with your loved ones, with your friends, with your group chats, maybe with some of your enemies. Given that they don't harass me in the live chat today, but thank you all that have shown up. I want to say hello to Grizz Cheese, to Steelbringer, Entropy Nomad. Hello, everyone. To Mr. Lipsurdy on YouTube. Good evening, Mr. Lipsurdy. It's very good to see you. We had earlier Fiery Waco. Hello, Fiery Waco. I did not forget to say hello to you in the chat. Of course, we have AP for Liberty and others in the chat, Mr. Pig as well. So we do have the usuals. Nomad John on YouTube. Hello, Nomad John. Thank you for joining. And I will be covering the State of the Union address as well as other things on the news. So stay tuned for that. I know the State of the Union starts in less than an hour now, so I should proceed with my stories. But I want to reiterate, please smash the like button, share the stream. If you're watching on Twitter, also please retweet it, like it, comment on it. It goes a very long way. Robbie Thurman is in the chat. Hello, Robbie. Very good to see you. We had the whole gang. The whole gang is in town, everyone. Wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I know that was a Leo sound effect, but I think it's very pertinent to the stream as well. So let me jump into the news. I know that I have a limited time until the State of the Union occurs, so I'm going to just jump in as soon as I can. Also, I forgot to mention, by the end of the stream, I will be cutting it exactly at the 2-hour mark because AP for Liberty, Austin Peterson, will be having his own gaming stream following after mine on Tuesday nights. So I will be dropping that link in the chat afterwards. If you guys are interested in that and want to watch that, stay tuned for that at the end of the stream, and I will be handing off this show to him afterwards, and that will be done every Tuesday. Now, if you also like gaming and you want to watch me play, I also stream every Saturday as well on this channel right here in Rumble, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. So anyway, let's jump into the news. Okay, it's not technically a State of the Union. Barney Styles writes. Barney Styles, thank you for that's what I've heard. Thank you for correcting me. That's what I've heard people refer to it as. So we'll just have to wait and see then. But I'm taking up too much time. Let me jump into the next scene here so I could start covering my next stories, because this one's kind of big, you guys. Okay, do you see this on my screen? Yes, you do. Okay. Breaking, prominent streamer Hassan Piker. They spelled it with 2 S's. I don't know if that's accurate, but I guess it is. Hassan Piker has been banned from Twitch for telling his audience to Minecraft, as the young kids say, or take the life of Republican Senator Rick Scott. Is this actually what happened? Let's take a listen. Piker, quote, "If you cared about Medicare fraud, you would you would take the life of Rick Scott." I don't know if that's allowed on Rumble, but let's take a listen.
Cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott. Okay? You wouldn't make Rick Scott, former governor of Florida, Rick Scott, you wouldn't make him the current, what is his current office? What is he? He's the Richard Lynn Scott, is an American attorney, businessman, politician, Navy veteran, serving as the senior United States Senator from Florida, a seat he has held since 2019. And also, I believe this past election cycle, he was literally the head of the, what was it, like the Senate committee or something? If you cared about...
First of all, I want to say this one thing. I cannot stand the profanities. Now, I understand we're all human, and once in a while, we're going to say a couple things, right? As you all may know, when I play Cuphead like I did in the last stream, I may have not said the level of profanities that he has, but you feel tempted to say a few things. But he has a profanity up the wazoo on his stream, which is going to happen. But profanities aside, calling for action against the life of someone is a little bit worse. Hassan posted on TikTok. Here is another, the same clip, but in more, with a greater context here provided. So let's take a listen to this one as well.
We're not going to... People who are covered by Medicaid now going to potentially lose Medicaid coverage as a result of this?
We're not going to touch Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid. What we are going to do is go into those programs and carve out the fraud, waste, and abuse and find efficiencies. Couple of examples. You know, there's about $50 billion estimated that are lost every year in Medicaid just in fraud alone.
That fraud is not coming from individuals, it's coming from providers. They're not tackling providers. They're not actually going after like false billing. They are trying to cut recipients. If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would Rick Scott. The reason why I'm saying if you cared about Medicare or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott is because, and not make him a prominent part of the Republican Party, is because he to this day is still known as committing the largest Medicare fraud in U.S. history. They want to cut SNAP. They want to cut Medicaid. They want to cut the funding of Medicaid. They want to make it harder for people to receive Medicaid. They don't want to actually go after medical providers or the insurance companies or the nursing homes that are lining their pockets with major donations. Those are the people who actually engage in the fraud. It's not your uncle that's like lying about their condition and stealing money from the government by, you know, going to the doctor or whatever.
Okay, so that was a clip in full context. And, you know, I want to give my fellow streamers, you know, a fair chance in providing the entire context. Now, there is a difference of opinion here about whether or not he's calling out for direct violent action and he's actually encouraging his viewers to do this. He has come out and said that that's exactly not what is happening here. It's just more of like... euphemism is the wrong term, but he's sort of hyperbolizing the issue here. And, you know, absolutely, I understand what he's trying to say here. There's a lot of issues with this system, and that's, you know, deserving of discussion. But of course, I don't have to really reiterate this to you guys. I like to think that my viewership is rather intelligent enough to understand that you cannot exactly make comments like this on platforms with like Twitch, first of all. Second of all, on platforms where you have quite a bit of viewership. Hassan Piker has, I think he's like, isn't he like the top lobster when it comes to political streaming, especially on Twitch? And so I could be wrong on that now. Maybe that has changed, but for the last few years, especially since 2020, that has certainly been the case. The issue with people like Hassan, Vosh, Destiny, and so forth, and other leftist streamers, I could name a bunch more, but those are like the top three that come to my mind. Regardless of whether or not you think Destiny's actually leftist, I think he is, and I think a lot of my viewers would say the same thing. But a lot of these people, especially Hassan, which, by the way, has known to say a lot of violent rhetoric before on his stream. He has outright promoted and brought on to interview terrorists on his stream. Especially when it related to the Palestine or Gaza versus Israel conflict. And so he has gotten away with a lot of behaviors before, okay? And so it goes without saying that people like Hassan or people of his ideological ilk will feel comfortable enough to make comments like this. Whereas people on the right, you know, you can't... I'm not encouraging anyone to do this, by the way. I'm certainly not doing that on any side, obviously. But people on the right can't even bat an eye, you know, against anyone without having to be called derogatory statements or derogatory names, or being called a radical and extremist or potentially violent. And so, you know, right-wing, conservative streamers, Republican, I guess you could say even though there's not too many of them, but streamers, figureheads, pundits, thought leaders are quite easily ostracized socially and treated as social pariahs and potentially violent.
People who are covered by
and potentially violent with just saying really anything close to that. And so I am even though regardless of what you think about this particular comment that Hassan made, it is refreshing to see that actually Twitch, surprisingly, as a platform and known to be quite a not directly leftist platform, but giving a lot of leeway to leftists type of platform like TikTok, if you know what I'm saying here, actually like bring down the hammer when it comes to their rules and actually following through with their rules. It's known that Twitch doesn't really ordinarily do that all that much, but here's Hassan losing it against Tim Pool. Tim Pool made this tweet. And just to wrap this up, it's a suspension. They call it ban, but he will be back shortly. exactly. It's just a temporary suspension. It's likely due to the way he spelled "do" here. Come on, Tim. It's D-U-E, Tim. It's likely due to his calling on people to kill. I don't know why he capitalized kill. I wonder what intern wrote this tweet. To kill a sitting U.S. senator. He didn't even know Rick Scott was a senator. WTF. And so Hassan responded, losing his mind. Tim Pool loves that Rick Scott was caught overseeing the largest Medicare/Medicaid fraud in U.S. history, and he will defend the wealthy, robbing you blind, just as he'll defend the... Hold on. Sound effect time. And will defend the wealthy, robbing you blind, just as he'll defend Mike Johnson gutting Medicaid with lies. He's not independent. He's a bald, partisan hack. Very strong words from a very potent, an ideologically potent individual. Now, there's also the idea floating around out there suggesting that it's not exactly Twitch actually following through in their policies and taking this seriously and putting down the hammer on those who deserve it the most, honestly, like bread tubers, leftists, whatever. A lot of people are saying it's actually because they just don't want any more Luigis. They don't want any Luigi, type of situations budding from the ether. And so it's because of what Luigi did is what contributed to them taking this a little bit more seriously. Unfortunately, that has to be the case. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to have an act like that occur for platforms like Twitch to actually start taking it seriously, because we have brainwashed ourselves and culturally we have convinced ourselves that somehow leftist radicals, and that's, essentially how I would characterize Hassan leaning towards that way. Leftist radicals are not dangerous. They're not violent. They really have no real issue or bearing on infringing on the lives or the livelihoods of other people. That's only what right-wing radicals do. So we don't want to consider the fact that maybe radicals on both sides actually have serious potential to ruin and hurt the lives of others. We have a gifted sub by Entropy. Who sent it? Entropy Nomad gifted 1 subscription to Culturama. Well, thank you, Entropy Nomad, and thank you so much for gifting the subs. It is very generous of you. And looks like Grizz Cheese was also gifted as well. Thank you so much. Very generous. And everyone, if you want me to directly refer to your comments or read it out loud, whatever it may be within reason, or to cover a specific news story, given that I have time today, please send in a Rumble rant. Rumble is the main platform where I interact with you and read your comments and receive your donations. So please do that as well. And if you can't directly support me financially, consider liking and sharing the stream. And let's bring that viewership up, everyone. Let's do it. Okay. Next story, I want to cover the Trump turbulence effect, the Trump tariff effect, and the trade wars. We have a lot we're going to have to deal with, you guys. Things may get a little bit more expensive, but what exactly will get more expensive? I will be covering that next. I will be on a brief break. I'm going to get something from the kitchen. I will be right back, everyone. Stay tuned. And while I'm gone, for like the next 60 seconds, consider visiting the ap4libertyshop.com. I will be putting a link to that up here in a second. Everyone, stay tuned.
I thought the world would turn slower, not as fast as it does. Conservative hearts were steady, sure and just because. A simpler time of values, when right was what it was. It seems like those days vanished with just a fleeting pause.
Right-wing dreams of yesterday, steady in the fray, keeping timeless traditions, leading all the way.
In our little town, so serene, where the grass is green, the air so clean, we gather round the table every night. Joyful days, oh, what's I yet? With values passed, with generations past, living life with love that surely lasts. As the city lights look bright, we hold to our roots tight. In our heart we sing choirs, guided by the good old Sharing moments with friends always divine. Working hard for what we seek, respecting each word we speak, holding dear to our family ties underneath these nostalgic skies. As the city lights so bright got too tight, get our hearts to sing goes by. Oh, dear, oh yeah. We sway with every change of time, but in our hearts old vows and so that baby in our hearts, getting like a thought ain't out in this fast-paced world we can find traditions.
Once again, you bring in additional jobs in manufacturing. You want to comment on that as well?
Well, Honda's coming, and I told you about Apple that they're going to be starting to build massively here, $500 billion. And we have many other companies going to be announced, but we had many that have already announced. And now it's going to be great.
This is President Trump's message to Canadians and Mexicans ahead of a tariff implementation. Let's take a listen.
It's looking really strong. I don't think this country's ever seen anything like we're seeing right now. Now, the tariffs, as you know, it'll start a week earlier than the reciprocal, which is going to be on a couple of weeks earlier. Reciprocal tariffs start on April 2nd. And I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to go April Fool's Day, because that costs a lot of money, but that one day. But so we're going April 2nd. But very importantly, tomorrow tariffs 25% on Canada and 25% on
tariffs, everyone. 25%.
Mexico, and that'll start. So they're going to have a tariff. So what they have to do is build their car plants, frankly, and other things in the United States, in which case they have no tariffs. In other words, you build, and this is exactly what Mr. Wei is doing, by building here. Otherwise, they'll build, if they did them in Taiwan to send them here, they'll have 25% or 30% or 50% or whatever the number may be someday. It'll go only up. But by doing it here, he has no tariff, so he's way ahead of the game. And I would just say this to people in Canada or Mexico, if they're going to build car plants, the people that are doing them are much better off building here, because we have the market. We're the market where they sell the most. And so I think
we'll
it's
have
going
to
to
wait
be very
and see on
exciting.
that
Very
one.
exciting for the automobile company.
But Trump tariffs, everyone, 25%. It's going to be pricey. Things are going to start getting pricey. But you know what isn't pricey? The $5 donation from Steelbringer. Thank you so much, Steelbringer. I see your comment. You sent in $5, and you said, looking at what Hassan says in public, you can only imagine what Cenk says in private. That's very true, Steelbringer. Hassan, I think, launched into relevancy when he first made that statement years ago, saying that he was happy 9/11 happened. I can find the clip somewhere at some point. I'm sure I could find it, but I'm sure if you guys look it up, you'll find it. But Hassan is not the best when it comes to, how would I say, acting appropriately in public. So yeah, if he has the cojones, so to speak, to say those things in public, you can only imagine what they say privately. So very true. Anyways, let's proceed on with the story. So Trump is imposing tariffs. And it is launching us into a potential tariff war or trade war. Countries are retaliating. China, for instance, retaliates with additional tariffs up to 15% on some U.S. goods, March 10th. So here are the key points. China has announced today that it would impose additional tariffs up to 15%, not the 25%, on U.S. goods. So it's not completely retaliatory. The retaliatory measures from China's Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Commerce came just as additional U.S. tariffs took effect on Chinese goods. After the first round of new U.S. tariffs in February, China's retaliatory measures included raising duties on certain U.S. energy imports and putting 2 U.S. companies on unreliable entities list that could restrict their ability to do business in the Asian country. This is really big, you guys. So China's announced on Tuesday that it would impose additional tariffs up to 15%, like I just read. Companies affected by the export controls includes Leidos and General Dynamics Land Systems, according to the Commerce Ministry. China's relationship with the U.S. is bound to see disagreements, as we all know. It's not like we're not used to that. But China will not accept pressuring or threatening this person, Lu Qingjian, I butchered that, spokesperson for the third session of the 14th National People's Congress, told reporters Tuesday morning. The Congress is set to kick off an annual meeting on Wednesday. Okay, so tomorrow. The White House has confirmed that the new duties of 10% on Chinese goods are set to take effect Tuesday, bringing the total amount of new tariffs imposed just about a month to 20%. Another story. Trump triggers trade war. Prices hike with tariffs on Canada, China, and Mexico, everyone. So, like the summary says here, tariffs on Canadian, Mexican, and Chinese goods will commence. U.S. Commerce Chief says Trump may work out a partial solution, so there is still potential to find even ground here, but we'll have to wait and see. Trump is coming in with a vengeance, no doubt. Canada's Trudeau tells Trump this is a very dumb thing to do. Everyone's rattled. The financial markets lose ground. So let's take a listen to what Trudeau has to say here.
U.S. President Donald Trump's new 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada took effect on Tuesday, along with a doubling of duties on Chinese goods to 20%. He said that all 3 countries had failed to do enough to stop fentanyl from entering the U.S. The trade wars could slam economic growth and lift prices for Americans still hurting from years of high inflation. Canada swiftly retaliated. Here's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
Canada will be implementing 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods.
Oh boy. Get
Starting
ready, guys.
with tariffs on
Groceries are not going to get
$30
any
billion
cheaper.
worth of goods immediately, and tariffs on the remaining $125 billion of American products in 21 days' time.
Oh, geez.
Now, it's not in my habit to agree with the Wall Street Journal, but Donald, they point out that even though you're a very smart guy, this is a very dumb thing to do.
Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said she would unveil her response this weekend.
Por ello,
We can only imagine
hemos
what she's gonna
decidido
say.
responder.
Therefore, we have decided to respond with tariff and non-tariff measures that I will announce in a public square next Sunday. It is by no means our purpose to start an economic or trade confrontation, which unfortunately and regrettably is the opposite of what we should be doing. That is, integrating our economies more to strengthen our region.
China announced additional tariffs of 10 to 15% on certain U.S.
As you
imports
just read.
from March 10th, and a series of new export restrictions for designated U.S. entities. Later, it said it had raised complaints about the new measures with the World Trade Organization.
China's...
The tariffs are already sparking...
We'll talk about avocados in a second here. Obviously, China's is, I think, going to affect us the most. However... I personally, you guys, I will be real with you. I'm going to level with you. I'm split on this issue. On the one hand, I understand that he, meaning Trump, is posing this against or pinning this move on the fentanyl crisis, which we are dramatically suffering under. And it's really good to see that he's taking it seriously enough where he's taking the first foot forward and the best approach and the strongest, like a strongman approach to actually show that he's serious about alleviating and ultimately finding a solution to the problem. However, and it goes without saying, this will directly impact us financially. And I will be going over in a second about the kind of goods that will be the most affected and goods that we commonly use. Avocados, maybe not so much, but regardless. So given the present economic situation that we are struggling with right now, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is the right timing. However, I do understand, once again, like I said, the strongman approach. In a way, he is sort of like posturing to these people and other world leaders, which he is known to do. He certainly likes posturing, but it will directly impact Americans. So he's not concerned with re-election, and that is clear. And maybe that's what we need in a leader in order for him to actually effectively take on or push for certain policies and orders where we can get through and actually push through and find solutions to long-term issues that we've been suffering under up until now. However, given that fiscal responsibility, the economy, and what, like I mentioned earlier on this show, like just basic goods costing too much from the effects of the previous administration, it will continue to affect us today. And that's quite unfortunate because the outcomes of that, like the long-term effects and outcomes of a poor economy, of expensive goods, is, of course, not the happiest of national peoples. Not the most efficient nor productive job market, housing market, and the growth of families, of course, will also be directly impacted by this. So we're going to have to just wait and see. We have gifted subs, actually, from Robbie Thurman. Thank you so much, Robbie Thurman, for your wonderful generosity. It is very much appreciated. Let's finish this video.
Some U.S. price increases on goods, running counter to Trump's election vow to bring down living costs for Americans. The Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta's GDP Now model showed a stunning shift to a 2.8% U.S. GDP contraction in the first quarter, from a 2.3% estimated growth last week.
Okay, so let's read a little bit more on... I want this article, actually. Okay. 6 things that could get more expensive for Americans under the Trump tariffs. All right, let's all think about this. What is this? Entropy Nomad, short-term thinking Daniela. Perhaps that may be so, Entropy Nomad. However, I will say this. I do really believe that the economy was one of the major deciding factors next to immigration for the election. And I really do think that if people feel like the economy doesn't feel sustainable or isn't feeling sustained to a certain degree, I don't think the so-called Trump MAGA populist legacy will survive long enough to resume its popularity. Now, perhaps, this is just it's a political trend, but it's also massively a cultural trend as well. And so that will just naturally fizzle out on its own. But if people really feel like they can't make it out there, I don't see them, sustaining their support for the MAGA Trump movement, which results in Republican voting. And I'm worried that the Democrats will catch this and try to have a more, pro-middle class, pro-middle America, pro-workers' rights approach to gaining potential voters in the future. But also, as we have seen with the last DNC elections, they probably don't even understand what the right thing to do. They don't even understand what color the sky is. They're still concerned about land acknowledgements and sexual orientation. So I could be wrong there. I just hope that this isn't going to be utilized from the other side to gain potential voters, and that's what I'm worried about. But anyways, these are the goods that will be directly impacted by this. Let's see if this video. I'll actually read the article for you guys. So what could get more expensive? Okay. First things first, and this was mentioned in the videos, cars. Get ready, you guys. Cars will probably go up in price by about $3,000. So I'm glad I already got my car. That's because parts cross the U.S. car parts, the U.S., Canadian, and Mexican borders multiple times before a vehicle is assembled. Many well-known car brands, including Audi, BMW, Ford, General Motors, Honda, and Honda trade parts. I don't see Toyota in there. And vehicles across these countries. I am a Toyota owner, so obviously I'll be looking for that. Suffice to say that disrupting these trends through tariffs would come with significant costs. All right, next item. Beer, whiskey, and tequila, of course tequila, is going to go up. That's no surprise. Popular Mexican beers such as Modelo or Corona could get more expensive for U.S. customers. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we need less people drinking these, imbibing these items here. However, it's also possible that rather than passing on cost increase, firms could just import less. Modelo became the #1 beer brand in the U.S. in 2023 and remains on the top spot for now. I wonder if we're going to have to go back to Budweiser. I have a feeling a lot of people wouldn't want to do that. Next, and like I mentioned, the housing market, houses. The U.S. imports about a third of its softwood lumber from Canada each year, and that key building material would be hit by Trump's suggested tariffs. Trump has said the U.S. has more lumber than we ever use. That could be true. And I've heard that deforestation is a possibility moving forward, which I'm not necessarily against. In a way, America and the United States should be more self-sufficient as we proceed further. But regardless, however, the National Association of Home Builders has urged the president to exempt building materials from the proposed tariffs because, quote, of their harmful effect on housing affordability. The industry group has serious concerns that the tariffs on lumber would increase the cost of building homes. Okay, fair enough. This is the one, honestly, I'm most concerned about. Beer, cars, regardless, like those things I don't think are as necessary or as important. Housing is a bit different. And so we're just going to have to wait and see. Maple syrup, for all you maple syrup lovers out there, obviously this is directly affected by the Canadian tariffs. When it comes to trade war with Canada, the most obvious housing impact would be the price of Canadian maple syrup, according to Thomas Sampson, Associate Professor of Economics. Okay. Wow, it took a professor to realize that maple syrup would be affected by this. Canada's billion-dollar maple syrup industry accounts for 75% of the world's entire maple syrup production. I guess this stereotype is true. All right. The majority of the sweet apple, around 90%, is produced in the province of Quebec, where the world's sole strategic reserve of maple syrup was set about 24 years ago. Okay. All right. Fuel prices. This is another one that's going to be, as if we're not already impacted, but here we go. Fuel prices. Canada is America's largest foreign supplier of crude oil. According to the most recent official trade figures, 61% of oil imported into the U.S. between January and November last year came from Canada. While 25% has been slapped on Canadian goods imported in the U.S., its energy faces a lower 10% tariff. Now the U.S. doesn't have a shortage of oil, but the type A refineries are designed to process means it depends on so-called heavier, i.e. thicker crude oil from mostly Canada and some from Mexico. Okay, well, I really hope we'll find a work around that one because fuel prices are kind of a big deal for a lot of us, especially for someone that lives in a rural area that drives a lot, such as I do. Another one, I think this is the last one on the list. Yes, avocados. This is a big one for me because I am a big avocado enjoyer. Big Avocado has a place in my heart. The Big Avocado Lobby. Big Green, as some may say. Did you know another word for avocado is, I think it's called the alligator pear? It's my favorite fruit. One food import that American consumers could see a significant price increase is avocados. Grown primarily in Mexico, Mexican avocados make up nearly 90% of the U.S. avocado market every year. However, its tariffs come into force. The U.S. Agriculture Department has warned that the cost of avocados, along with the popular avocado-based dishes like guacamole, could surge. So for all of you guac enjoyers such as myself, this is a bit of a black pill topic, an article. I am so sorry. But, screw the housing market. Forget fuel prices, cars, whatever. Avocados, that's emotionally impacting me today here. So, speaking of profanity on streamers' shows, Donald Trump made this post on Truth Social. To the great farmers of the United States, get ready to start making a lot of agricultural product to be sold inside the U.S. Tariffs will go on external product on April 2nd. Have fun! What a way to address the farmers of this country, is it not? Fiery Waco. I hear you can substitute alligator pear for avocado. Not anymore. Avocado is going to get really expensive, so jeez, we're going to have to grow our own avocados, everyone. Don't we have some of it grown in California? Production's going to have to go up. Okay, Trump tariffs tracking the economic impact of the Trump trade war. I don't think I'm going to read this article because we are reaching the close last 10-minute mark before we have the State of the Union address, you guys. I want to make sure I have all the time in the world to do that. But tariffs, a turbulent trade war is ahead of us, everyone. Now, I'm not necessarily saying this is a misstep in the administration. I don't think it's a major misstep. I understand that he is, utilizing the powers of his present position to push certain policies and assert a certain level of dominance and power on the international stage, and I understand that. However, I do also hope that the American people will be able to cope with these price increases, given that the job market, I still don't think has changed in any way since he has come into office. However, that is subject to change. We will still wait and see. And I don't want to throw any dark pills or what's the term, black pills out there for us to become discouraged of. But I do still think that it serves us to be somewhat critical. For instance, I haven't had a chance to talk about it, I don't think, on my previous streams, but the stunt with the Epstein files. I think I briefly mentioned it on my last stream. I think that stunt with the Epstein files was a misstep under the Trump administration. And I do think that it's up to us as the electorate, as the people that voted him in, to be publicly critical of that. Given that you think it was a failure of a stunt like I do. A lot of people seem to be of that idea and of that bent. It's up to us to publicly state that, hey, look, this doesn't look right. Something about this feels wrong. Maybe try to not do that again, Mr. Trump. And I know Trump wasn't directly related to that necessarily, but it does happen under his purview and under his administration, and he needs to be wary of how that makes him look. But I'll end it on there. Correct, Steelbringer. People are pissed. It does not look good for public perception. It doesn't. And did you guys see Jack Posobiec's comment on this? I still have 10 minutes, so I do want to touch on this. Let me pull up the tweet here. Or is it? Yeah. Did you guys see this? What is going on with the right-wing pundit class? Jack wrote this, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, March 3rd. Okay, I'll come clean. JD handed me my binder directly. This is the Epstein file binder that, by the way, had no new information in it. And inside was nothing but rare Magic the Gathering cards. I have been under embargo until this time. Come on, you guys. Come on, you guys. What is wrong with the right-wing pundit class? I just wrote 200 plus child victims, by the way. Like, there is no sense of decorum with these people. What is wrong with these people? Can someone tell me, like, what's going on with... I like Jack Posobiec. I like Pozo, as they call him, most of the time. But what is this? This is not something that we should be joking about. And me and many others came out and said, like, yeah, this looks pretty bad. Kind of classless. I don't know, kind of weird. It's kind of weird. I understand he's trying to post through it because it did become somewhat of a controversy, but posting through it sometimes isn't the best reaction, nor is it a valid strategy, by the way. I wouldn't call posting through things a strategy. It is a response, but it's not a strategy that you should probably rely on, particularly when you look bad. So yeah, anyway. Pozo was the bozo, writes Entropy Nomad. I guess he was that day. Okay, you guys. Let me see. I know that the State of the Union is supposed to start in 7 minutes. So I will be right back. I'm going to be pulling that up and try to find live coverage for that. So we'll be having live coverage of the State of the Union address, and I love to share that time with you guys. In the meantime, if you are interested or if you feel compelled to do so, please consider joining, supporting us on locals first and foremost. And the way you can find that is actually go to my hold on a second. Yes. Everyone, I want to tell you one thing that you can do while I'm gone here in the next couple minutes. Go to my Twitter. First of all, follow me at DC Pensac. There's a picture of me in the green. Go to Twitter, follow me DC Pensac, and then go to my link tree on my bio and scroll down just to the very bottom where it says support the For Liberty Network. Click on that. And there you can support the network that I'm a part of. You can give once. You can set however much you want to donate, or you can be a lifetime subscriber. So that goes to a long way in supporting us. Anyway, that's where you can find the locals page. And also, please go to the AP4 Liberty Shop, merchshop.com, and there you type in the search bar the Culturama Collection. I do this every time. You click on the picture of Leo, and please consider purchasing lovely items for yourself, such as this pillow, such as the Leo the Beast pillow. If you go on my Instagram stories today, you'll see I had a person purchase that pillow, and he's very happy about that. And also, one thing that will not be affected by the trade war that we will be living under these next few months or however long, coffee beans. I can assure you that the price of the Culturama Collection coffee, where is it? Where's the coffee? It's supposed to be front page here. Where is the coffee? It's underneath all this other stuff. Hold on a second. Maybe I'm missing it here. Where the heck is the Atomic Blonde coffee? Atomic Blonde. Here we go. I am blonde. I will. Anyways, so go to the For Liberty shop, type in Atomic Blonde coffee, and we have an ad. There we go. This website, it's always an adventure when you visit the website. We will have this set price. It will not be impacted by the trade war that we are undergoing. So please buy yourself some lovely coffee beans. I believe they're from Costa Rica, so they're not going to be directly affected by this trade war. So please go buy yourself a bag of coffee, of Atomic Blonde coffee, to support the Culturama shop. And in doing so, maybe you can also consider, just as a suggestion, a mug, a Culturama mug to drink your lovely coffee in. So anyways, we have $1 from Fiery Waco. Thank you so much, Fiery Waco. I really appreciate that. You wrote, my strategy of $1 Rumble Rants is working just fine. Yes, very well done, Fiery Waco. Your strategy is working very well. And thank you so much for your donation, Fiery Waco. I love to see your comments on here. Okay, everyone, I'll be right back. I'm going to be finding live footage or live coverage of the State of the Union address, or the not so State of the Union address, as one of you guys said in the chat. So stay tuned. I will be right back. And please enjoy this lovely commercial.
Well, here comes Danny Yellow like Marilyn with a twist. She's got a master's degree and a style you can't resist. On Culturama, baby, we're shaking up the scene. So hit that like, make it click, you know what we mean. Like and subscribe, come on, don't delay. With Daniela at the helm, we're leading the way. It's Culturama, taking back tomorrow today.
You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors.
Mao ordered his citizens to throw off the four olds. Old thinking, old culture, old customs, and old habits. So, your whole life went in the garbage overnight, no biggie. And those who resisted were attacked by an army of purifiers called the Red Guard, who went around the country putting dunce caps on people. Yeah, who didn't take to being a new kind of mortal being.
If you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted.
Well, things haven't been so sweet for Ben & Jerry's after the company posted an anti-American tweet, a few of them, on the 4th of July. The ice cream makers declared the United States was founded on stolen indigenous land.
Well, someone should tell Target that, because they're now selling swimsuits with tuckums in the women's section of the store. And they even have a line just for kids.
Yeah, we're going to reach out to Ben & Jerry's and ask them how they can live with themselves as they operate a multi-billion-dollar company on stolen land while declaring other people give up their so-called stolen land.
This is the child section. This is literally the kids section. I'm next to a literal onesie that says whatever the hell that means. We have Glad You Came Out and I'm so happy that you're queer in the kids section. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but pride and toddler don't belong in the same sentence.
Good news! Starbucks will offer its workers reimbursement of travel expenses related to accessing abortion and gender-affirming procedures.
Kyle Rittenhouse was seen wearing a Black Rifle Coffee Company shirt, and they wanted to distance themselves from that individual. Key employees at the company also were donating to Democrats. Hafer doubled down on throwing many in his base under the bus, describing them as racist and a repugnant group of people.
Hey, Liberty lovers, stop scrolling, because if you're tired of the same old news, then I've got just the wake-up call for you. I want to thank you for tuning in to Culturama, and I know that you're enjoying every minute of it. Join us at rumble.com/AP4Liberty. The Wake Up America show is Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. It's a great way to start your day. Coffee's optional, but waking up is mandatory. Remember, at Wake Up America, we'll keep you sharp, we'll keep you laughing, most of all, we'll keep you free. I'll see you in the morning.
All right, everyone, we are back. I have the footage lined up right here. I am going to be watching off of Associated Press today. I hope that's okay with all of you. It looks like people are still... Hold on a second. Let me bring it in. There we go. So let me know if the audio levels sound good. Clearly, they're not going... He's not addressing... There's no State of the Union being addressed right now, so... but I can play this in the background, perhaps. But I do want to check my audio levels here just to make sure that it sounds good. I think it's fine. Let me know how the audio levels checks out, you guys, and so we can make sure. Fiery Waco, what are you saying 5 times 5? I don't know. 25? Okay. Well, as this is going on, we're going to be waiting for... We're still waiting, but I'll just be having this playing in the background, everyone. I hope that this happens soon. 5x5. Okay, Fiery Waco. What is it exactly you're referring to? Please let me know. Guys, send in the chats for all your questions. Send in the chats. Don't be shy, okay? And by chats, I mean Rumble Rants. But yeah, we have the gangs all here, obviously. Since you're still packing up the room, I can talk about other news as we proceed forward. But is that Nancy Mace in the corner? Hopefully I don't cover I don't think I cover it. But we still have some time here, so I think what I'll do is I'll cover the next news story. Hold on a second. I want to cover the... Oh, wait, nope. We're back on, you guys. We're back on. Melania has entered the building. Fiery Waco. Signal quality is reported on 2 scales. The first is for signal strength, the second is for signal clarity. Thank you for letting me know, I was unaware of that. Please clap, yes. That's a radio comms thing. Got it, Robbie Thurman, thank you. So anyway, first, interesting choice of dress. I can't say I'm pleased with it.
Speaker, the President's Cabinet.
The President's Cabinet has entered the building, everybody.
It's not having access to 1 million industrial-grade products that's so amazing. It's the feeling of knowing.
I need to get this ad blocker situation dealt with. I can't keep having that happen. A lot of pink. Am I missing something? Is there a reason why everyone's wearing pink today? Am I just out of the loop? YouTube ads are horrible. You never get a break from it. I used to use AdBlock for many years. And then YouTube made this awful decision to bypass all of that. And I understand that YouTube ads are a necessity and to some degree for, that's also people's livelihoods. And I get that. Like, I'm a streamer. I understand you need the ads, but I also don't care. I want to watch my documentaries and my films and my YouTubers without any issues. Nelson65 wrote women's rights. Yeah, probably. I am curious about what that is. Also, Nelson65, were you the one that purchased the Leo the Beast pillow? I believe it was you. If it was indeed you, thank you so much for purchasing the pillow. I posted the screenshot of you posting about it on my Instagram stories with the link to the pillow, so thank you. I really appreciate that post. It made me very happy. There's little Marco Rubio, now big Marco Rubio, by the way. Talk about coming of age, right? It took him a little longer than others. I understand that. I too am a late bloomer, so it finally took him long enough to actually prove himself politically. Good for him. Okay. Well, isn't it supposed to start yet? I could talk about other things as we proceed forward, but hold on a second. Nelson, you love the Leo. That's awesome, Nelson. I'm glad you love it. I love it that you love it. Thank you.
Monster kill.
And for those that don't know what I'm talking about by any chance, I do sell pillows of my dog. I can pull it up in the meantime. Well, because yeah, I can pull it up in the meantime while we wait. But I always talk about my dog. But purchase yourself a Leo the Beast pillow right here today, $37.55. Just wait. Promo codes will be offered. And also, you can spin to win every time you visit the website, a chance to win up to 20% off. So, you want a pillow by my dysgenic circus creature, please consider purchasing the Leo the Beast pillow. It also directly supports the show. So thank you, Nelson65, for purchasing that. You guys were asking me, oh, there's RFK right there. You guys are asking me for a pillow of my dog. I provided. You purchase more, we'll have more products coming your way. Fiery Waco, we can talk about the Waco plan. It was theorized Trump might announce leaving NATO tonight. That's what I'm thinking too, Fiery Waco. I think that there's a possibility that he will announce that today, so we're just gonna have to wait and see. I'm kind of nervous. You guys. Nelson65, it's a nice big pillow and it's soft. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Nelson. I'm glad you enjoy it. I enjoyed that you enjoy it. That's awesome. JD Vance, standing upright. Rowhouse is in the building. Hello, Rowhouse. Welcome. Yes, I am back. Oh, wait. She was on the Saturday gaming. Yes, Rowhouse, I do stream. I'm going to stream every Saturday. Same start time. And I'm presently playing Cuphead, although that is subject to change. So if you guys have any other video game suggestions, as long as it doesn't take too much processing power, because I really did want to play Fallout New Vegas. But my computer just kept crashing, and it was just too. I already have OBS running and the live stream running through Rumble Studio, and it was literally crashing my computer. And I only have so much to work with here. I'm doing this off a laptop. But Cuphead doesn't crash my computer. So if you guys have any other suggestions, I do like Cuphead. I'm also used to it and the gameplay. $5 from Rowhouse. Thank you so much, Rowhouse. You wrote, Daniela, before he speaks, what have you most enjoyed about Trump's first month in office? Just one or two favorite things. Rowhouse, very good question, and thank you so much for your donation. It is very much appreciated. The deportations, I think, was the defining moment and the defining platform for his campaign and the MAGA movement. And so seeing him actually deliver on that, I think is huge. So that is one that I'm most happy about, and I think a lot of Trump supporters are. Thank you for the question. Another one I would have to say are the peeling back of the DEI policies. And I know that's not like the biggest one, but it's very good to see that one, just so we could like snub the other side and show them that that actually doesn't work anymore. And I think it has demoralized them a little bit. I also do like the order establishing English as the official language of the United States. I don't know why that hasn't been done yet. So that is also very good to see. But thank you for your question, Rowhouse. It is very appreciated, and you're appreciated on the show. We have $1 from Entropy Nomad. Entropy Nomad, thank you so much. You wrote, hold on, let me check my little screen here. I would like an emoji of a PQ-31 explosive modulator, that and an Acme ray gun. Okay, Entropy Nomad, you know what? I don't know how to do like custom emojis on the Rumble chat. I will have more time tonight, and I will take a look into seeing what I can make. I can't promise you exactly that, but I will do my best. And I feel like you deserve it because you have been watching this show ever since the beginning. So I'll look into it, and I do really want custom emojis. I think it is possible. I know it's possible. I'll have to research that. It's just like another thing on the list, you know, that I gotta do. But I also want to beautify the Culturama set here, and not physical, but like digitally. So I need to figure out how to do that and add like masks and skins on the OBS so I could beautify it. $1 from Fiery Waco. Thank you, Fiery Waco. You wrote, all Fallout games requires the unofficial Fallout patch to fix Bethesda Studios quality rollouts. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Fiery Waco. I will see what I can do. Fiery Waco says you're currently playing Crash Out 76. I'll see what I can do. I certainly do want to play Fallout. I know that I've been told, I didn't know this, but I've been told that their games are buggy. And so what happened wasn't like all too unusual. But you have to understand, even though I'm working off of a gaming PC right now, I can't, not a PC, a gaming laptop right now, and I can't show you this on stream. I don't want to lift the laptop, but, and it does have like higher processing power. It's still, with the streaming stuff that I have set up and the OBS and the multiple windows and the Rumble Studio, I heard on top of that, when you stream games, it will just decimate the laptop, so even if it's a gaming laptop. So unless they like plug in a console, and I don't know if I want to do that, but I'll have to figure out. I'll just invest in like a different laptop, I think. But I do want to play. I do want to play Fallout. Okay, guys, we're back in. I think we're gonna
Mr.
start
Speaker,
going through with
the
this.
President of the United States.
Thank you, Fire Waco. I won't shoot the first ray gun. Don't shoot the first guy you meet. Sorry about that. I'll do my best, Fire Waco. The thing with video games is that I play video games in a way that I would want to act where I can't act in real life. Okay, you're simulating life that actually involving yourself in the social fabric of reality. So I like to shoot people in video games, but I understand that may not, be the best with the gameplay and the storyline. So what is Lauren Boebert wearing, by the way? Look at that. These people don't look too pleased, obviously, so they're obviously leftists. Lauren Boebert will never fail, never cease to amaze me sometimes with her decisions. There he is, you guys, looking sharp. Harold's looking whiter than usual. I'm out of cashews. Is that MTG? She has a really big mouth. $5 from Robbie Thurman. Thank you so much, Robbie. Very appreciated. Okay, you wrote, the Democrats are all wearing pink because they accidentally wash a red sock in their Klan robes. Exactly. That's so true, Robbie Thurman. That's hilarious. Democrats are just gonna be Democrats, Dem for them. There's Nancy Mace in the white dress. Thank you for your donation, Robbie. It's very appreciated. I wish I got more cashews for this. Look at that tie. You guys, what do the fellas think about that? The green and purple tie. Chucky not looking too happy either. Trump's tie is very interesting. Interesting choice. It's more of a solemn color. Of course. I can only critique menswear so far. Also pleased to see that Marco Rubio was bold enough to wear a pattern tie as well. Pattern ties are coming back. That's good to see. That one's crazy. That's good. Oh, it's Mardi Gras, Fire Waco. Yes, today is Fat Tuesday, you guys. I have a mask. I have a Mardi Gras mask somewhere. I should maybe pull it out. But yes, it is Fat Tuesday, so maybe that's why the green and purple. Interesting. Good catch, Fiery Waco. I think so, Entropy Nomad. I'm not sure. I should know that. chat and welcome to Culturama. It's appreciated to see you here. Howdy, howdy. It's always good to see new faces in the chat. Thank you for joining. We're live covering the State of the Union address, so, you know, we're working with what we got here.
Thank you, sir.
And we have these people on this side, obviously lovers of America. Oh, I see Ukraine colors. I think that's what that's supposed to be. Love this setup here. I love this. Always a beautiful setup. It's such a stupid way of putting it. I love the decorum that they have here. It's always appreciated to see. Okay, how long are we gonna clap? The clapping is unnecessary at this point. Let's go. Let's get to the address here. Doesn't Trump know I have to end my stream in less than an hour?
Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States,
that's a good point. I like her hair. I'm not a fan of the dress this time around.
Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
America is back. Hello, Steffi. Good to see you in the chat. 10 more minutes of applause, everybody.
6 weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America.
Oh, man.
From
really
that
running
moment
with that
on,
one.
it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
Look at how happy MTG is.
I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before.
Bigger and better than ever before. Bigly, some may say.
The American
Bigly.
dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it.
Well, let's hope for the better, shall we? Let's hope for
The
the better.
presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes.
That's right. That's the one thing that's the one trick Democrats don't want you to know about. They're not happy about that fact.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Thank you for the donation or the gifted subs, Robbie Thurman. Oh my God. It's a war, you guys. Nancy Mace's the first one to come out and do it. Classic Mace move. Classic Mace W, some may say.
And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525.
Oh my God.
On a
No
map
way.
that reads almost completely red for Republican. Now,
The
for the first time
polarization
in
is
modern
ridiculous.
history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
Looks like he had some audio issues there as well. If the president can have audio issues, so can I.
Likewise,
I do
small
believe it is
business
bolted, Fiery
optimism
Waco.
saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded.
Mr. President.
A 41-point jump.
What does Nancy do? Nancy and MTG are
Members
just...
are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
People truly never leave high school, if you really think about it. People never truly leave high school. They're just gonna make an issue of everything, these people, this side of the aisle right here. Andy Oak was gifted a membership by Robbie Thurman. Thank you, Robbie Thurman.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat.
Oh my God. No!
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order.
Those people don't know what order
Remove
is.
this gentleman
Also,
from the
welcome to the
chamber.
chat, Wildman. It's good to see you. Welcome to Culturama. Protect veterans. That's what the sign said.
Go.
They're leaving.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House.
That was awkward.
Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you.
Okay.
Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it.
This is true. Nothing else I can add there. That's all true. Every last word of it.
In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many.
The most successful? Maybe. What do you guys think about that? That's a pretty big statement. But
And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it.
We'll take it.
Within
We'll
hours
take you
of
guys.
taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
God bless him. That's what we needed. And yeah, that's a promise that we've been waiting to be delivered for quite a while now. Also, I like the cape. Interesting choice. Capes need to make a comeback.
They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month.
The worst president in American history?
Virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out.
The freezing wind cuts through Gaza's camps, leaving families desperate for warmth. But with your help,
and these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here.
Okay, yes,
It's
this
very
is true.
sad.
Let's proceed on with
And
the...
it just shouldn't be this way.
I agree. We should call them out. Musk steals. Look at the signs here. Save Medicaid, Musk steals, protect veterans, false. Someone just outright has one that says false on it, just like lie regardless.
So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America
We all know they're not going to
great
do
again.
that. They're not going to do that. There's no point. Look at them. Look at this. Musk steals, all the same.
Every day my administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations,
That's
and
right.
a freeze on all foreign aid.
Was needing to be done.
I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization.
That one was big.
And I also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council. We ended all of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction.
Yeah, all policies that were directly impacting and strangling our economic longevity and livelihoods. So, very good to see that.
To unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term. And in that first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job. And we have ended weaponized government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good.
Not too good. That's right.
And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
Well, it's more recognized, is how I would put it, perhaps. It's, yeah,
And
that's how
2
I put
days
it.
ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States
That's a big
of
one.
America.
That was one that was needed for a long time. A long time. Again, don't know why that hasn't. It's wild to me that that hasn't been. That has been
I
mandated
renamed
yet, until
the
now.
Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America.
That would really get some mad.
And likewise, I renamed for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again.
I too am happy about that one.
Beautiful Alaska.
Beautiful
Love
Alaska. That's right.
We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military.
That was definitely, like I said to Row House,
And
happy about that one.
our country will be woke no longer.
Woke is dead.
We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important.
Exceedingly important. The identity politics just has to end.
You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Well, sex, I think, is a better term than gender, but yes. Let's call it what it is. It's just sex.
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports. Three years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side.
It's almost like men are stronger
and
or something.
ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
Again, common sense procedure that should have happened. Oh, there she is. Okay. Who's a tatted up one in the back?
And if you really want to see numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer.
Incredibly demeaning.
What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen.
If the people remain active in the political process,
among my very highest priorities is to rescue
educated.
our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again.
We'll see if the tariffs will impact that, but so far the steps he has taken sounds like salient with that point. Pretty salient.
Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control.
The eggs.
The egg price is
The
out
egg
of
question.
control. And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job.
Have fun, as he likes to say.
A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now. And frankly, we have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency.
With W after W,
As
been
you've heard
racking
me
up.
say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill.
I also, why a wild man, totally agree. I do the same with the eggs that I eat. You gotta know someone that owns chickens at this point.
My administration
Homesteading.
is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA.
Again, should have been done a long time ago. Not sure what we were thinking previous to that. Like,
To
why
further
wouldn't you
combat
find rare minerals
inflation, we will not
and
only
useful
be
minerals here?
reducing the cost of energy, but will be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars.
The biggest problem of them all.
And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE.
Doge.
Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps.
Is Musk? Someone show us Musk. Reveal the Musk. Reveal the Musk. There he is. What? No Romans
Which
today?
is headed by Elon Musk, who is
he
in the
gonna do
gallery
it?
tonight.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? Nope. They told him just to salute. They said, Musk, whatever you do, just salute the guy if you have to do something about it. Look at what he's doing with his hands. Oh my God, the autism is off the charts there.
He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate
Looking
it.
dapper. By the way, Elon Musk looks different, doesn't he? He looks a little dapper today. A bit more youthful.
They
more
just
pep in
don't
his
want to
step.
admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America.
Afro-Colombian
$8 million
empowerment.
for making mice
Wow.
transgender.
What a absolute travesty against
This is
nature.
real. $32 million
I wouldn't
for
be
a
laughing at that. I'd be horrified at the mouse
operation in
thing.
Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique.
Jeez.
$20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program.
What do they advocate on this
$1.9
program?
billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up.
All you have to do
and
is
we
just
know
throw a
she's
black
involved.
tarp
Just at the last moment,
over
the
the
money
puppet.
was passed over by a woman named
It's a primarily
Stacey Abrams.
Islamic
Have you ever heard
nation.
of her? A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City. He's a real estate developer. He's done very well. $250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public
Jeez, you
procurement in
guys,
Serbia.
this money.
$47 million for
It's just
improving
they're just money
learning
laundering schemes,
outcomes in Asia.
if anything.
Asia's doing very well with learning. I don't know what we're doing. Should use it ourselves. And $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education.
101
paid,
million.
Nothing even like it. Under the Trump
For what?
administration, all of these scams, and they're
All of
far
it-
worse,
it's
but I
most
didn't think it was
definitely
appropriate
scams.
to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
Yes, Fire Waco. Yes, it all could be covers for intelligence operations, exactly. Whatever it may be the case, it clearly wasn't for a puppet show. I don't think they've utilized all the money for the puppet show or transgendering mice. There's something else going on
And
there.
we've taken back the money and reduced our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taking back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning. The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old.
My goodness. I remember that.
It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any
How
of them.
many
I
people
some
do you know
people
that's
that are
over 110
rather
years
elderly,
old?
but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129. 3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them. And we're searching right now. In fact, Pam,
They're still searching.
Good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid and nobody does. And it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159 and over.
That's what happens when the money isn't backed up by anything material of value.
According to the Social Security
Is he going to mention
databases,
Fort Knox,
are
you think?
over 160 years old.
I guess nothing's been done about
We have a
that, but
healthier
he's been
country
talking
than I
about
thought,
it lately.
Bobby.
Hopefully he'll break through into Fort Knox and see the golden painted bricks. I really don't think there's any gold there. That's my personal opinion. I think a lot of people share the same
Including,
sentiment.
To finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229. One person between the age of 240 and 249. And one person is listed at 360 years of age.
Nice. Wow.
More than 100 years.
How much
More than 100
methylene
years
blue are they drinking?
Older than our country.
You think that person used methylene blue before any of us found out about it or even knew what it was?
We're going to find out where that money's going. And it's not going to be pretty. By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments,
Good point,
and
Fari Waco.
grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families.
Maybe they can offset the impact that we'll be facing with the tariff, potential economic tariff crisis, but maybe he has a strategy here.
And today, interest rates took a beautiful drop, big, beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
There's a Democrat standing up. The lone wolf of the pack. Good for her.
With
That's a
that goal in
fence-sitter.
mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated.
The Gold Card.
And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success.
Is this what he
for
was talking about?
a
With
company out there. So while we take out the
justifying
criminals,
them
killers,
staying here
traffickers, and
through
child
college?
predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that
$5
money.
million seems like a good deal. Yeah. I want to read more about this proposition. Very
Americans
interesting.
Have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed.
Keep being lazy about cleaning your apartment. No, seriously. Home Aglow will clean it for just $9.
Every
I'm gonna
possible
go postal
way.
before the
nation
next
founded by
ad.
pioneers and risk takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days
Yeah,
to
Row
get,
House. There's gonna be
instead
ads
take 10 years,
on this
15
stream.
years, and even 20 years before you reject it.
Thanks, Associated Press.
Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again.
Thank you for the gifted subs, Steelbringer. It's very much appreciated. Row House, I have to leave soon because the AP for Liberty, or Austin Peterson, has his
And
gaming
any
stream
federal
after mine on
bureaucrat who
Tuesdays.
resists this change
So I
will
won't
be
have time for
removed
that.
from office immediately.
So I'll have to sign off here soon,
Because
sadly.
we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
Yeah, sorry about that, Row House. We don't know if that schedule will stay, if it's subject to change or not, but at least for today, I have to hand off this stream over to Austin Peterson in the next, 5 minutes. Look at that. He looks freaked out. My man, are you okay?
And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there. They're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here.
Row
I'm
House.
sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts because
That
otherwise
used
I
to be
don't
the
believe
case,
the
and
people will
now
ever
he
vote
wanted
you
to
into
do the
office. So I'm
streams
doing
on
you a big favor by
Tuesdays
telling you
after
that.
mine. So the best bet if you want to
But
get
I know
me
this group is going to be voting
uncut
for
and
the tax.
unfiltered all day long is Saturdays during the gaming streams, my gaming streams. I may stream again for a fourth day every week, but I'll have to figure out what day is best for that. But I'll update everyone's social media,
It's a very,
obviously.
very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very
Yeah.
big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on
Yes, Row
tips, no
House.
tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors.
Alrighty. Well, like I was explaining to Row House here, you guys, I will have to sign off here shortly because AP Austin Peterson will be having his gaming stream after
And I
mine today.
also
So I'll be
wanna
handing off
make
the stream for
interest
him.
payments on car loans, tax deductible.
Just as the
but
viewership is
only if the
increasing,
car
it
is
seems like.
made in America.
Made in the USA, how it should be.
And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen.
Farmers
That's a
have fun,
combination of
as
the
he
election
said.
win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? That, along with our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the
Hopefully,
majors today,
fingers
all
crossed on this one.
three
I really hope so.
top people, and they're so
But
excited.
I'm
In
kind of
fact,
worried
already
for a bumpy
numerous car
start.
companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with
Thank you
Honda
for
just
coming in,
announcing
Why
a
Wild
new
Man.
plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world.
Okay, you guys, I have to cut it short here because Austin Peterson does have a gaming stream that I have to hand off this stream to. So let me see if I can do that. And yes, today's stream also has to be shorter. My apologies, everyone. And Thursday. But everyone, we have Paul Gottfried this Thursday. Okay, this Thursday, I will be having an hour-long interview with the very own Paul Gottfried. So please show up on Thursdays. And if you want a full 4 hours, 5 hours long stream, show up on Saturday. I will be doing a gaming and news coverage stream on Saturday. That way, there's no streams after mine. And that way you guys can't find me. And let me see if I could find Austin Peterson's show and see if I can link that in the chat before I leave. Or perhaps there will be a link sent to me. Is there a link I can? Okay, I guess it cannot be. There we go. Hold on a second. Upcoming. Okay, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat, everyone. They already have 15 people in. So join I'm dropping it off in the Rumble chat. I can't do that, Rowhouse. The obligations of my contract won't allow me to do that. I wish, Rowhouse. I wish. I just can't. Yeah, I know you're more into politics than games, Rowhouse. Hopefully, yeah, like I said, I cover news and games on Saturday because it's more of a laid-back stream. But everyone, join me on Thursday. We have Paul Gottfried on. I'm going to be doing a send-off. Give me a second here.
They gather strong.
Everyone, thank you for joining me. If you want more coverage on the State of the Union, please join the link that I've sent in the chat and join Austin Peterson's stream. Thank you for joining, everyone. Reach me on Thursday. Like I said, I'll be interviewing the one and only Paul Gottfried. I think you guys will enjoy that one. And let's take back tomorrow, today, and reclaim the zeitgeist, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and thank you so much for tuning in today on Culturama.
We've got the power now in the heart of every town. We've got the power now. The Reds are going down. With a flagpole planted firm, golden dreams that won't decay, marching proudly through the day. In the eagle's shadow by, we find our strength and take our pride. Let the voices echo loud.